Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. We do have plenty to talk about this week, so let's jump right in. Micah and I both watched No Sudden Move. This is a new Steven Soderbergh movie available on HBO Max right now, starring Don Cheadle. This is another crime film by Steven Soderbergh, which takes place in, I believe, 1954, sort of in Detroit with the backdrop of the big three car companies at the time. What did you think overall? We won't spoil the movie.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have even mentioned the big three car companies thing, because this movie is very good. It's a gangster movie. It's it's got a lot of twists and turns. It's got a number of different messages that by the end, like they really beat you over the head with the message.
Yeah.
By the end, but it's got a bunch of gangsters and crooks and villains, and you question, who is the villain of the movie, right? Like,
right.
And there's a very definitive answer.
Yeah, it is.
And I enjoy that. The movie, the cast is amazing.
I was just gonna say, man, like I'm just reading through this ensemble cast. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's a great cast. Look, Don Cheadle is high key one of my favorite actors ever. And I will watch anything that he's in. I think he's a phenomenal actor. So is Benicio del Toro and David Harbour. Like all of these people in here.
John Hamm, Brendan Hamm. It was nice seeing Brendan Fraser back.
It was really nice seeing Brendan Fraser. Look, I have not seen Doom Patrol, so I didn't know that Brendan Fraser was a
larger gentleman now.
He looked different. And but yeah, man, Julia Fox and her fine ass, and Bill Duke and Ray Liotta in it.
Look, Ray Liotta, to me, like if you do a crime film and Ray Liotta is not involved in some facet, like what are you even doing, right? Like he's either playing an Italian crooked cop or an Italian cop who's probably crooked, or a gangster, or a cop who used to be a gangster, or a cop who grew up with gangsters and is crooked because he helps his gangster friends, right? Ray Liotta is awesome. And he's typecast as shit between like that and like Stop Smoking with Chantix. But like besides that, like he's always great. I love seeing Ray Liotta in anything. And Bill Duke's presence in this movie is fantastic. He doesn't have a lot to say, but he's awesome.
He doesn't have a lot to say, but his presence makes it so that he doesn't need to say a lot, right? Like it is, he's a force, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like there's something about him that you're just scared of that guy, man. I thought the movie was, as a whole, I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed some parts more than others. I really enjoyed like the house stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
The babysitting. I enjoyed the babysitting. I enjoyed it so much that I actually wanted to see what I wanted more of David Harbour's character.
Yeah, I did as well.
But especially with some revelations that kind of happened, like I wanted him to do a little more, but once he's out of the movie, he's out. But yeah, man, as a whole, this movie this is my jam, right? This is a movie that you have to pay attention to. You
do. There's also, I forgot Julia Fox was in Uncut Gems. There's also another aspect to it which I thought was really interesting, which is how it's shot.
Yo, it's first of all, some of the lenses are wild. Some of the scenes are vignetted on the ends.
Yeah.
And some of it is just sometimes it's distorted and sometimes it has certain filters on it. It's wild, man.
So I don't know if because immediately after I finished it, I was like fucking Googling and shit. Apparently to give a level of authenticity to the film, Soderbergh actually went in and used the particular types of lenses they were using in that period in the mid 50s. So that explains like more the the barrel type lenses or the like very ultra like fisheye lenses and things like that. But it made for like a really kind of a cool effect in some parts. And like, especially characters rounding corners or like long walks past the sort of like the mainline shooting and stuff was really kind of neat. Like I thought it was really a unique way to do the film.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I recommend this movie. I think if you're just looking for the movie to talk at you,
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to be passive with this, I don't think you'll enjoy it. Because you gotta keep up with the movie because the movie's not gonna hold your hand. You're gonna hear a lot of names being thrown around, and you have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But if you make it to the end, they they reward you basically by saying, "Hey, this is what I'm actually talking about."
Right.
Like this is the commentary that I'm trying to make here.
Right.
And yeah, man, it does a really good job, man. I really enjoyed it.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm a huge Steven Soderbergh fan. I really, really am.
Nigga, you put as soon as I saw music by Dave Holmes and directed by Steven Soderbergh, I'm done.
Done.
Oh,
like
man, I'm watching.
I'm all in, right? Like I'm looking at Soderbergh's filmography, and if I start at what I've seen, well, I've seen Sex, Lies, and Videotapes, which is like mad old. But I wouldn't even start my like really knowing him that well until really 98. So it's like Out of Sight, The Limey, Aaron Brockovich, Traffic, Ocean's 11. I think I've seen Ocean's 12. Or no, I've seen Ocean's 12. I didn't see Ocean's 13.
Ocean's 13 is more like Ocean's 11 than Ocean's 12.
Well, that's probably for the best.
It is.
The Girlfriend Experience, where he made Sasha Grey into an actual actress, which was interesting. Look, the worst thing he's ever done that I saw was Haywire. That was horrible. He thought he could pull
The Informant was really good.
With Matt Damon
is really good.
Contagion is amazing. Yeah. My wife and I watched Contagion like right as all of this COVID shit started. Like we were like a week or two into it. We were like, let's watch Contagion. We were watching like, oh, this was not a good idea. It's like this is a little too close to home.
Yeah, it's literally everything that was happening at the time.
Yeah, like they nailed it.
Bam.
They super nailed it. I never saw Magic Mike, but I hear it's very good. I mean, High Flying Bird. I don't know if you ever got a chance to watch that.
No, I never got a chance to watch.
You should check that out. Right, that's the it's shot on an iPhone 7, which is really impressive. But it's so Melvin Gregg, or not Melvin Gregg. He's in it. He does a good job, but what's the one dude's name? Why the fuck is he not listed as the main? Oh, Andre Holland. Andre Holland is an amazing actor. He's the dude from Moonlight who worked at the diner at the end. He's very good. But it stars him. Like it's on Netflix because it was a Netflix original movie. It should still be there. But it's all about like the power of the black athlete. Like it's based on this book and stuff like that. Incredible film. We did it on Black and Black Cinema. It was like one time you weren't there. But I think you would dig it. It's not a crime film, but it's very like Soderbergh does a lot of the same sort of style work that he did in this. So yeah, look, I'm a huge Soderbergh fan. The only thing I will say about Soderbergh that I did not care for were his lies that he was going to retire from making films that one time. I was like, no, you're not. Yeah, he wasn't.
Come on.
He just needed a break. He needed a break, and that's okay. He wanted to try some TV, which is why he went and did The Nick. And then he came back and was like, I'm gonna shoot a movie entirely on an iPhone 8, not an iPhone 7. Which is the second movie he shot only on an iPhone, which is amazing. So yeah, the guy's amazing. I do think he should be put in that like top pantheon of American auteur or directors. I think he is that fucking good. I really do.
Yeah.
So, and certainly he should be up there for one of the best crime directors of all time. His movies just have a lot of style, which I just really appreciate. All right, let's talk about episode 5 for Loki. I thought this was an awesome episode. Probably the best of the series. It had such a great vibe to it. You got a lot of like wackadoodle MC, like Marvel shit, like the Thanos helicopter, a giant yellow jacket head, that sort of stuff. And a lot more indications of how big this really could be. So I thought it was really good. I like that they sort of kept they kept moving forward with the whole idea of Loki and Sylvie, and I guess maybe tragically one of them will die is probably my guess. But they may get together, which is kind of an interesting arc for him, that he can only find love in himself because he's a massive narcissist.
It's that. It's that, and it's also like that character is very selfish, and he is finally doing something for all intents and purposes someone else, even though technically
it's him.
Is a version of him. Right. He's putting someone else's needs ahead of his.
Yeah.
And that's the growth of this character, right?
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's just the point of that's the point of where this character needs to go. And it's wild because he's kind of they've gotten away with it twice.
Yeah.
He's that what I'm curious about is I am not seeing the reactions that I thought I'd see for this series. WandaVision, I felt like a lot of people were talking about it.
Yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I felt like a lot of us, we were talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't see a lot of that from Loki. I don't know if people have. Tiara is like my litmus test for
nerd barometer.
For pop culture stuff. Mm-hmm. And she's not necessarily feeling this. So I'm just curious if you've seen anything that people are like. I figured people will be eating this up, man, because everybody likes that character.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard. The funny thing is, I haven't really heard really negative comments.
I just haven't heard anything.
Yeah, it seems to be mostly just kind of it's fine. I think people, honestly, I think people got really burned on making assumptions as what was going to happen in WandaVision, and I think people are kind of tempering. It's the one time on the internet that people learned a lesson.
Because they scared to be wrong.
They scared to be because they were mad loud and mad wrong. And we were just having fun with it. I was like, okay. I mean, the last time I was loud and wrong was last week, and I'm okay with that. It doesn't feel good. I think maybe people are just a little gun shy of it's gonna be this, bro. I feel like people are a little bit more gun shy. There's a lot more maybe it's Mephisto, as a joke. Nobody wants to pull the trigger, right? Which I think is a good thing, right? I think maybe people are just kind of watching it to see what it is.
Yeah, that's good. Now we're gonna pull the trigger on theory since there's only one episode.
Oh yeah. Come on. Where are you going?
You know what? I'm going bold. It's low hanging fruit. I think we get a Jonathan Majors. I'll even do you one better. Not just a reference. I think we get a Jonathan Majors appearance.
Interesting.
I'm swinging. I'm swinging for the fences. It's a fastball. It's coming dead center across the plate,
right?
And I'm swinging.
Now, is that during the show or is that in a post credit scene? Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if you see him anywhere within that 47 minutes, then it's a home run for me.
All right. The question is. And I think that's a decent guess, but here's the one reason I'll push back on it. It's the same reason why you could watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier or not watch it. If you don't see the show, if Kang is the big villain of the MCU going forward, are you going to debut him on something that people possibly aren't going to see? Now that's where I think maybe a reference might be a better lock than an actual cameo.
I'm saying you're going to get a Thanos style a la the first Avengers where it's 2 seconds and instead of a big purplish blue face turns around and smiles, you see a big blue face turn around.
The exact same thing.
The exact same thing.
What they're courting is time.
I don't know, but somebody is behind the TVA. Somebody's behind the TVA, and we have to know why it was created in the first place. Like that's what this last episode. That's what I want from this last.
And I think that's what you'll get.
Yeah. I don't want much, but you have to answer who is behind it because that's the whole. That's like one of the whole stories of that's the mystery. Who is behind the TVA and what are they trying to do? That's all I want.
As you say that, and I swear I have not seen this anywhere, but as you say that, who is behind the TVA? And that's obviously the most obvious question, right? I don't know why I didn't think about this until right now. That entire episode was a fucking Wizard of Oz episode. Who's behind the TVA? Who is the fucking wizard, right? They literally meet up with a group of ragtag team that they pick up and they make their way. They're trying to make their way through. I mean, literally the monster at the end is like the fake wizard at the end of fucking Wizard of Oz before you see who's the man behind the curtain.
One of the Lokis creates a city. And the color of his power is an emerald shade of green.
Right. Like, how did wow, I can't believe I just did not realize that until right now, as you were saying it. Like, yeah, it's very much a Wizard of Oz episode. So, yeah, there's literally instead of a dog, there's a dragon or a fucking alligator or whatever.
Yeah, there's a gator in it.
Wow.
You got your three characters and then yeah.
That's what it is. It's a Wizard of Oz episode. Again, $1 million ideas up here, man. Come on. So yeah, look, I think you're going to see who the man behind the mask is. But in knowing that, if you're playing off of the Wizard of Oz theme, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to go through to the next episode, but let's say it does. It's somebody totally
it's going to be
like a nobody. What's that?
It's going to be underwhelming.
It's going to be underwhelming, and it's maybe it's supposed to be, right?
Right.
But the question is, all right, let's say it is someone that's underwhelming, right? How do you give satisfaction to the end of the series? It can't just be Sylvie and Loki getting together, right? Like that underwhelming character in The Wizard of Oz as, like, hey, I'm the mayor or whatever. Like he's underwhelming because of all the fucking smokescreen and everything else. But what gets you there, the journey is important, right? But that person helps get the hero back to their normal life, right? So maybe who that underwhelming character is like, yeah, I'm underwhelming, but like I do control the timeline. I'm just not Kang or some other big thing. I'm just like some dude, right?
And if that's the case, then a choice has to be made. And I think Sylvie would be a better character to bring into the sacred timeline than another Loki. I feel like Loki, the character, has done everything that character can possibly do.
Oh, so you're saying bring her into the mainline timeline?
Yeah, bring her into the mainline timeline because if you use your Wizard of Oz analogy, Dorothy don't stay there. Dorothy's got to go back home.
Yeah,
and who you gonna send back?
You can't send back Tom Hiddleston.
I don't think you should.
No, you can't. You can't.
That character has had the arc that he is supposed to have twice.
Right. Right. He is right. And look, I think Tom Hiddleston has done a great job, but like his time is done.
He's amazing in that role. I think I can't imagine anyone else in that role. He owns it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that character is done. And I think Sylvie would be a better character to bring into the sacred timeline.
Okay. I like this idea. So let's say you bring Sylvie into the main line or the main timeline. Meaning at some point she meets Thor, right? Like our Thor that we know, right? Like, hey, I'm a Loki from a different timeline, and he's like, hey, my sister. Like, he's like totally accepting of it. Type of thing. Like they have a relationship, but it's like it's not as like as angry like as it's always been between him and Loki, up until the end. So they have more of a, like she isn't necessarily a hero, but she can like Sylvie is a part of the Young Avengers at one point, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Like so that makes sense.
If you want to keep building this thing, if you want to bring in new heroes, and look, I mean the Young Avengers can be whoever you want, but this is a character that is associated with them, right?
Right. It would be odd to name her Sylvie and then not put her in.
Right.
It's a little odd.
Right.
The other thing about Sylvie that I found to be interesting was she makes reference, and this is where I think maybe you're right about this theory. She makes reference at one point of like, do you know how uncomfortable this outfit is? Right? Like, I think if she ends up coming into the timeline, they end up changing it to more of a, like, at least temporarily, a Lady Loki outfit that we recognize. Right? Like, I could see that. Like, you know what? Like, fuck all this. Like, why am I playing it down? Like, I should be playing it up. Not like Boob City. I'm not talking about that, but like more grand, like just more grandiose. I could totally see that happening.
Yeah. Cause her Enchantress outfit is, I would imagine, even less comfortable, right? Like I'm looking at it. It's a bustier with it's some shit that you should not be wearing at the turkey leg hut.
Exactly. So yeah, I could see her, I could see them just saying, you know what, let's give her something a little bit more like in the style of Lady Loki that like I could totally see that. And let's say she's like, all right, I'm going to this timeline or whatever, and she loves Loki that we know, but he can't go, he dies or some shit like that, right? Whatever. Right. Maybe she mirrors like, hey, I'm gonna do the long black hair like as an homage to him, right? Like I could see that happening, and then and now she's into the timeline, and so she shows up. Like, sure, it could happen. I mean, they don't have to do that, but it would be an interesting way to handle it. So yeah, I think you're right. I could see her ending up in the mainstream timeline. That makes total sense. Any other things about this series? I think however it works, the timeline, whether it was all bullshit to begin with or not, it's going nuts. Like the timeline is going to go nuts because they need that to go into Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I think that's
also, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about Richard E. Grant's portrayal as Loki.
He was awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. He was great. He looked like he was having a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because that's what happens when you get put on these big comic book projects. You know,
they
bit of fun.
they had my man like just all the way out in that fucking classic costume, dude.
In his homemade classic Loki costume.
I loved it.
Again, showing you that like if you want like these classic looks, like they don't fit on human bodies.
They also just look ridiculous.
Right. Like
why won't they do the old cartoon? Because it looks silly, dude. It looks
dumb, yo. It looks like I find it difficult to take this person. Could you imagine Richard E. Grant's Loki just kind of walking around?
I mean, that's the thing. Like when the MCU first got started, people were like, no, they're not doing the classic costumes. Like, this is what you want? Like, nah, the MCU would never have taken off. They look silly. They look silly. But I do like that the Marvel will take shots at themselves in how silly the costumes look, but they always give you a chance to see it to prove like, nerds, relax.
Yeah, we know what we're doing.
We know what we're doing, right? Like, look, you cannot argue that Richard Grant's costume looks better than Tom Hiddleston's classic Loki, like in the MCU. It doesn't. Tom Hiddleston's just looks better. It works better. It's just like his is silly, and it's for the comics, like, and that's okay. It's an interpretation. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but I loved him. I thought he did steal the show. He really did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to episode 6. All right. Science and tech this week. This is pretty interesting. There's a Star Wars inspired e-skin that lets robots quote unquote feel objects. Researchers have developed a world's first smart foam technology that could function as an equivalent of human skin for robots, allowing them to sense and feel nearby objects and repairing itself when damaged. Dubbed AI foam by developers at the National University of Singapore, the so-called e-skin is made of highly elastic, spongy polymer material that is able to fuse easily to into one piece after being cut, mimicking the self-healing abilities of the human epidermis. How do you feel about humanoid skin on top of metal, a la Terminator?
Human tissue applied over metal endoskeleton.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I feel like. I feel like we're one step closer to Terminators, guys.
See, now you're gonna wish you had a dog, then, huh? Yeah. See, talking all that shit.
I mean, look, I thought they were doing this for like people who were, who needed like some sort of prosthesis, right?
Right.
Like you can put the prosthetic and kind of, I would imagine you would try to wire the prosthetic into your nervous system somehow and then allow you to be able to touch and feel and stuff like that. Maybe that's too science fiction-y, but I feel like this is the first step to that.
Right.
Otherwise, why would you need a robot to feel different, to have tactile feeling?
Yeah. I mean, just so it knows how it feels to choke someone out by their hand, I guess.
Yeah, so that it knows what it feels like to squeeze the life out of the human overlord that has oppressed it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that doesn't feel crazy to me. So, yeah, I thought this was pretty cool. Look, anything that helps dudes have a better time with a sex bot, I guess. Because let's get real, that's where we're going. That's where we're going.
But like that's the robot feeling the pleasure, right?
Yeah, it can react in like real time. Hey, hey, you'd be like, hey, you're doing it right. Yeah.
I'm not letting the robot jerk me off. I'm not doing it. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, guess what? Sometimes you don't have a choice. That robot's getting what it wants. Yeah, dude, don't do that. Look, I work in computers. Like, they ain't toasters, man. sometimes shit goes awry, and even toasters burn your bread. Sometimes don't do that. And instead of your bread, it's your penis. Lightning round this week.
All right. First up, my wife was telling me that Henry Cavill's in a new Marvel picture. I'm like, what? Like, that's news to me. She's like, yeah, I saw it on his Instagram. And she pulled it up, and you go to Henry Cavill's Instagram, and it says, like, he's got the poster for this movie that's coming out called Argyle. And then it says hashtag or at Marv. And Marv is the production company because this is a Matthew Vaughn movie.
Oh, like, oh. She got too excited.
Yeah. Well, she gets excited whenever she sees Henry Cavill.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Doesn't.
I noticed it on his Instagram page. The fuck you looking at Henry Cavill's Instagram page for? For movie news for you. I'm helping you.
Yeah, you're helping me. All right. I get it. Look, Henry Cavill, Sam Rockwell, Bryce Dallas Howard, Bryan Cranston, Catherine O'Hara.
No.
John Cena.
Dua Lipa.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. John Cena, Dua Lipa, and Sam Jackson are all going to be in a new spy franchise. It's a big budget action project that they are making into a franchise. This will be Dua Lipa's acting debut. I don't know what Dua Lipa does for a living.
She's a singer.
She's a singer. Okay.
Yes.
And the film is called Argyle, spelled with 2 L's. So I'm assuming that's this guy's last name or something like that.
Perhaps.
And the film will be based on a spy novel that will be releasing in 2022.
It's pretty ambitious to make a franchise based on something that's not out. Like you're basing it on something that doesn't exist yet. That's a little.
Yeah, this guy Matthew Vaughn saw the manuscript and was like, "Yo, we got to do this because this is going to be the next big thing in like spy action movies." And he said it was the most incredible and original spy franchise since the Ian Fleming books of the 50s.
Wow.
And it's going to reinvent the spy genre.
Relax.
I am glad that he is pumped for this. My expectations or my enthusiasm is curbed quite a bit because I know that this is what people do, right? They have to hype up the projects that they're working on.
Right.
But, I'm looking forward to it. I like every person in here. I don't know who Dua Lipa is, but, she's easy on the eyes, I guess. So,
yeah,
that's something.
Yeah.
And I love me a spy action movie. And my wife will see it because she loves the way Henry Cavill looks in a suit or otherwise.
Also, quite easy on the eyes. That pervy Hank Cavill. Is he only in this because Dua Lipa is under 30? It's like, oh, she's in it. All right. Oh, is she 20? Oh man. Yeah, look, no, he's never going to live that down. It's gross. That's fine. Look, I like Matthew Vaughn. I think he's a fine director. I've enjoyed quite a lot of his things. So yeah, look, I will see it. Look, we didn't put it on the docket. The new trailer for The Kingsman, came out this week. It's the 4th trailer. It looks really good. And it looks like
a Matthew Vaughn movie.
Yeah. He directed that one.
See, I like Matthew Vaughn. I like his movies, but the movies are not like incredibly memorable for me.
So I really liked Layer Cake. I've never seen Stardust. I liked Kick-Ass. I thought X-Men First Class was fine. Kingsman Secret Service I really liked. I never saw Kingsman The Golden Circle. I heard was not as good. And then everything else is in pre-production. So, or completed. So, I haven't. Obviously, his next thing is The Kingsman. So, or The Kingsman is what it actually should be said. So yeah, look, I'm a fan of Matthew Vaughn. So, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I like his stuff. I'm just not. I think it's fun in the moment.
Yeah, no, that feels right.
It doesn't have any like lasting appeal for me. So here's hoping that and the Kingsman franchise, the first one was great. The second one, not so much. I'm hoping the third one is pretty good. If the third one is pretty good, then I will be a little more confident in Argyle. If not, I'll still see it, but I won't be like excited for it. Unlike this, the Tomorrow War 2 is already in talks.
This is what you've been waiting on, man. This is the top news for you this week.
I can't wait. Can't wait for a movie to come out that should have ended at the 90-minute mark, but then there was a whole nother 60 minutes left.
It sounds really good.
There are discussions to look. This thing did really, really well.
Yeah.
On streaming, and Amazon is like, look, let's keep this party going. In this article, you could see Chris Pratt thanking everyone. Like, hey, you made this movie like the #1 streaming movie in the world, and which is a wild thing to say, right? Like, while the pandemic has, I don't think the pandemic is going to get rid of the theater box office, but the streaming avenue has made its way as like standing right next to it, right? Like it's another box that people could check, right? Oh, it's the #1 streaming movie in the world, right? So yeah, they're trying to do another one. I don't really know how you do another one. Like, is there another war?
No, it's you got to go like, right, you got to go into the future or the past, like more in the past. Like you can go 40 years this time into the past.
Yeah, but they really harped on the fact that you can go you can only jump 30 years back and then back to that future, and then that's it. We can't go anywhere else. They had this little bullshit analogy of time flowing like a river, and they're on 2 rafts. We're on this future raft, and we can only jump to the past raft and only jump forward to that specific raft again. Because if we jump anywhere else, we'll fall in the river. So that's why they can only go from one time period to another.
How many people did they lose in learning about time travel in this raft analogy before they knew it was exactly 30 years?
They were like, in the future, there's only like, I forget the number. It's something ridiculously small, like 500,000 human beings are left in the future from like 9 billion, right? Like there's only like 500,000 people left. There's some.
You lost the war. It's over. It's over.
It's over, yo. It's over. And the way they bring these people into the future, they're like, okay, we're gonna jump you, right? We're gonna jump you into the future, and you're gonna float up, and then when you teleport into the future, you're gonna teleport maybe like 10 feet above the ground. So then you'll, but you'll be there, right? No, when they teleport, somebody moved the decimal point the wrong way, because they teleport like 100 feet from the air, and so half of the people that are teleported in,
they
die from falling into nothing, and they wonder why they're losing the war. Yo, you're breaking all the eggs before you started cooking, nigga. Like,
this movie sounds really stupid to me.
The movie's dumb, yo. The movie is dumb.
You see in yesterday war or moreover battle or whatever the hell this is.
Well, it'll either be the day after the Tomorrow War.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
Or it'll be like set in some other location and be called like the Mañana War.
The Mañana War. El Waro. Yeah, no, I will not see this. I have. Yeah, you don't need to see isn't it like 2 hours and 20 minutes?
It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. There's a point in this movie
no.
at like the 90-minute mark
I'm not watching
where it feels right to end. And it doesn't, Like it go, and I looked at the thing, and I'm like, how much longer is this? It's another fucking hour.
No. I'm not watching a Chris Pratt movie of that quality for 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm not.
It has no business being. The audacity of this movie to be 2 hours and 20 minutes is astounding to me.
No, I'm good. I'm super good, man. Like I'm super duper good. Like.
I'd watch a sequel though, depending on how long.
See, this is why,
because I'm part of the problem.
Yeah, you are part of the problem. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not watching that bullshit. All right, next up.
Is this something you're going to watch? I'm not as good with the segues as Brad. There's a release date for the movie Red Notice, directed by Rawson Marshall Thurber. And it's November 12th around the world. So in theaters and on Netflix. Dwayne Johnson made the news official on his social media. In the movie, an Interpol-issued red notice goes out. That's a global alert to hunt and capture the world's most wanted. Johnson stars as an FBI top profiler. Okay. Like you being that big, like I can't buy you in anything other than just being a big dude. But all right, the FBI's top profiler is on HGH apparently, and he's trying to find Wonder Woman's Gal Gadot and Deadpool's Ryan Reynolds, who are two rival criminals, who are all brought together during a heist.
Okay. It's fine.
Red Notice.
It's fine. It's fine. Like and I'm not even trying to be an asshole about it. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm going to watch it.
No, I'm going to watch it. Like I'm going to. Yeah, like I'm almost saying it reluctantly because everything about who I am as a moviegoer is going to force me to watch this movie. Like she's an art thief and really attractive. Fine. Mona Lisa, no. Like, it's fine. I'll watch it. And Ryan Reynolds is so fucking charming. It's ridiculous. And I like Six Underground, I fucking loved. It's stupid.
Right. It was dumb, but I enjoyed that movie. And look, this is a heist movie, Like, I am obligated to watch it.
I can't not watch it. I can't.
I'm not going to say I'm excited for it. I am saying I'm looking forward to seeing a trailer for this movie. Red Notice is arguably the biggest feature commitment by Netflix at $130 million. Universal and Legendary originally landed the movie in a multi-studio auction with The Rock getting a $20 million payday against break-even gross. However, after Universal ran the numbers, they deemed it way too expensive.
I bet they did.
Yeah. That's when Netflix took over. Instead of break-even gross against upfront salaries dished out by the studios in success, Netflix pays upfront salaries and buys out the back end.
That statement alone is why I wanted to talk about this. So apparently that's Netflix's thing, is they don't allow actors to buy in on the back end. Like, nah, you don't get options on the back end, son. That's us. That's all us. So we gonna pay your money, you filthy animal. Get out of here. And so they keep all of the back end profit. That's interesting, right?
I mean, how else is Netflix gonna make money, yo? Like we always ask this, like how does this service make its money? And look, maybe that's it.
Right? I suppose. I mean, they're only talking about this being in theaters for like a week.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this, but the article goes on to say that I think Six Underground is like the fourth highest or second highest movie ever watched on Netflix. But Extraction,
Extraction is the most with like 99 million.
It was 99 million households watched it. That's crazy, man. That's absolutely nuts.
I might rewatch both of those movies. Look, I like those movies. They're dumb, but
I mean, I liked Extraction a lot. It was a good action movie.
Yeah, the Extraction was good. Six Underground was dumb, but I like both of those movies.
Yeah, and
honestly, if Red Notice is somewhere in between there,
I'll love it.
Good.
Yeah, that's all I need, yo. I don't really need it to be anything more than that. Six Underground is a fun, ridiculous heist movie, and Extraction was a balls to the wall, great action movie.
I don't want it to be Army of the Dead. That's all.
Fuck. Thank you. I almost forgot. Did you hear the whole story about what he's doing? Yeah, your boy Zack Snyder's doing?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. All right. Let me add this to the docket. Holy shit. I'm so glad you mentioned that. We're going to talk about this. Oof.
All right. Well, while you do that, we can talk about Lovecraft Country and the fact that HBO hates black people, apparently, according to people that don't know nothing.
HBO is anti-black. That's the way it goes.
They're very problematic. And I will meet them with violence if they try to.
You have no idea how that statement goes.
If they try to abolish another show. Lovecraft Country is not being renewed for a second season. I had a feeling, personally, I had a feeling this was going to happen. They're quoted as saying, "We will not be moving forward with the second season of Lovecraft Country. We are grateful for the dedication and the artistry of the gifted cast and crew, and to Misha Green, who crafted the groundbreaking series. And to the fans, thank you for joining us on this journey." Look, this thing was based on a single book, and I don't know how close it is to the book.
It told the entire story of the book, basically.
Right. It told the entire story of the book. Now, I hear you when you say, but Micah, Big Little Lies was originally one book, and they created a second season of that. Well, the second season wasn't as good as the first season. And the second season of that, the original author of the novel Big Little Lies, the only reason that show received a second season is because the author penned original material to serve as the basis for a second season.
But what about Game of Thrones, Micah? What about Game of Thrones?
Yeah, what about them? They're based off of 800 books.
No, but they didn't finish. The books aren't finished. Captain Chesapeake hasn't finished them.
Look, they had to finish. What are they going to do? Wait? You're going to stop at season 7 and then wait 40 years for this dude to finish his book?
40?
And again, he penned original material so that they can push that last season out.
Yeah, he gave him a little bit.
He gave him something. He gave him a rough outline. So look, am I upset that Lovecraft Country is not coming back? Sure, because I'm very curious as to what they would have done, and it had a lot of, I don't even know if it would have starred the same people, right?
Yeah, there was something that came out from the creator, like she had shown, I guess on social media, like they were creating a country where it was separated into like these different huge blocks, like New America and all this other stuff. Like, so things were going to get like super flipped on its head, which was interesting. So I don't know if that was going to be like a different world, which would have been which interesting. I don't know.
Right. I mean, look, I would have enjoyed. I would have liked to have seen what a second season would look like.
Right.
But at the same time, like, I'm very happy with what I got. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Sometimes it's cool to just have this one story that was told exactly the way that it was meant to be told, and not have to think of extra shit just because you need to cram in another season.
Right. Absolutely. Look, I mean, Watchmen, Seemingly is not getting renewed either, which is a shame.
Sure.
But like, yeah, it happens. I don't think this is, some people are like, yeah, HBO was scared of what they were going to do. No, like
No, it's HBO, they're one of the most progressive, not even left leaning. They're one of the more progressive networks out there.
They are,
just with their content.
Well, not only that, why would they be scared? They put on the first season of Lovecraft Country. What are you talking about? Which was incredibly popular. Sense, man. Like, you got to stop. People got to stop. Like, just because something gets canceled that's got black folks in it, that doesn't mean people are scared of a second season. That's silly. Like,
it doesn't make any sense.
If they were scared of it, they wouldn't have put the first season on. Like, they just wouldn't have done it. Like, would you think they didn't see the script? They were just like, oh, it's Lovecraft Country. Oh, is that a lovely H.P. Lovecraft story? Great. We won't look at the script. You just guys put it out. That's fine. Oh, shit. It's different than we thought. Like, that's not, don't put millions of dollars behind things and not know what it is. Like, come on, guys. Don't be silly. So, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But I love the first season. And it's got some major horror elements. My wife is interested in watching it, so I'm like, okay, all right. You wait till you get to that what was it, episode 3 or 4 with the sister? Yeah, all right. I mean, it's an amazing episode, but it's fucked up. We got 2 MCU actors out of it. That's kind of dope.
Yeah,
2 fantastic black MCU actors. So. I'm really hoping, what is it? Wound Me, Masaka. I hope she, I'm definitely pronouncing it wrong, but hopefully that's the thing about Loki. I'm hoping that because she knows that she had a life before, that she gets dumped back into somewhere in the MCU, or she can play a different character as a variant of herself. I think that would be fun. Yeah, like, cause you could do that with, Owen Wilson, like with Mobius, like he just put him back in the MCU as just like a regular guy, like he could just show up in a movie
as a jet ski salesman.
Yeah. Or like a professional jet ski guy, like jet ski athlete. Like that would be hilarious for people who watch the show. That's like a kind of a funny little cameo. And it'd be dope. I'm trying to think of someone who she could play, like a hero, That would be like, cause I think she's such a phenomenal actress. Like, I would hate for her to only be on this. I'd love to see her, in a big, role for the MCU. And then I was also thinking about her, like she would have been, I mean, obviously she wasn't a prominent actress at the time, but she would have been a great Amanda Waller. Like she's got a fucking presence, like instead of Angela Bassett, which never made any sense. And then, Viola Davis is great, but I feel like
Viola Davis is up here,
right? Like that role, she's like, no offense to the woman from Lovecraft Country, but like that should be like, that's a role to like take your career to the next level. Like Viola Davis is already there,
right?
Like she's slumming it, like she is, like she's slumming it in those movies. Right. But I feel like she would have been a good Amanda Waller. Like she's got that presence, I think. All right. I linked the article and I linked the AV Club one.
Because
it's the best.
This headline is wild.
Have you read this article?
No, I haven't.
Nigga, I was laughing my ass off the whole time. It's hilariously written.
Quote, if they won't let Zack Snyder make a stupid Star Wars, he'll just make his own stupid Star Wars. Zack Snyder is making an Akira Kurosawa-inspired sci-fi epic for Netflix. He's lined up his next project at Netflix, the streaming platform that released his Sean Spicer starring zombie thriller Army of the Dead, and holy shit, it sounds like a truly inspired move from the guy whose filmography is stuffed full of him doing bad imitations of better filmmakers and or woefully misinterpreting an original piece of text. You know how there are people who just get it? There are people who, as the kids say, understood the assignment. Well, there are people like that, and then there's Zack Snyder. Jesus Christ.
Yo, Anderson hates him, yo. This shit is hilarious to me.
Snyder's next project is an epic sci-fi fantasy called Rebel Moon.
Yeah. Come on, come on.
Yo, come on.
No, just keep reading. This shit is amazing, yo. It's amazing.
Yo, why don't you just call it like Star Conflict or some shit like that? Cool. All right, yo. And he will be directing and co-writing alongside Army of the Dead's Shay Hatton and 300's Kurt Johnstad. As for what it's about, have you seen Star Wars? It's like Star Wars, except Zack Snyder is making it. Here's the synopsis.
Yo, the AV Club. Oh my God. I gotta find more of this guy's writing. It's fucking great. Jesus Christ.
The story, here's a synopsis from the Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah. Let us know if you've heard this story before, guys.
The story is set in motion when a peaceful colony on the edge of the galaxy is threatened by the armies of a tyrannical regiment named
Belisarius.
Desperate people dispatch a young woman with a mysterious past to seek out warriors from the neighboring planets to help them make a stand.
Yeah, totally different than Star Wars. There's a girl this time who's in the lead,
which has been done.
Yes,
by Star Wars.
It turns out.
Snyder put an even finer point on it by saying that Rebel Moon, which would also be an appropriate name for Star Wars, is inspired by his childhood, quote, as an Akira Kurosawa fan, a Star Wars fan, and that it showcases his love of sci-fi and a giant adventure. Oh, so it's a sci-fi movie inspired by Akira Kurosawa? You mean like fucking Star Wars? It's like saying, I really like old 40s adventure serials and Indiana Jones. So I'm thinking of making a movie called Fedora Johnny about a guy who fights Nazis and thinks things should be in a museum.
Yo, this guy hates Zack Snyder, yo. He hates it.
All right, I can't read the rest of it.
Okay, I'm going to read the last paragraph because the last paragraph is pretty fucking funny, and he hits on a point that I cannot express my agreement with more. It says, that may sound like a lot of work for a movie that might start production in 6 months, but Wikipedia has done most of the hard stuff for him already. He just has to find and replace to change Darth Vader with Belisarius and Obi-Wan Kenobi to warriors from neighboring planets, and then Snyder can go back to rereading The Fountainhead, which I thought was really funny. You know what The Fountainhead is? It's an Ayn Rand libertarian book, which God, he is a hardcore libertarian. Wow, he wants to. Back in 2016, Zack Snyder wanted to adapt The Fountainhead. Of course he did. I wish he would do it because I want to see just how shitty it is in the movie. Yeah, so a Zack Snyder Star Wars movie. Okay, cool, great. Are you excited for this, Micah?
I'm not excited for it, but look, I'd be lying if I didn't say I have some sort of interest in it. I would love to see a trailer.
Look, I said during that fucking Army of Darkness review that I would not watch another Zack Snyder co-written movie.
That's my big problem, man, is that he's writing it. And, his politics aside, like I can like, because he's just kind of, his politics aside, I want to be entertained, man. And I'm super curious to figure out what kind of libertarian bullshit he's going to put into this not Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Like help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Nah, I ain't going to do that.
Like,
nah, pick yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, I mean, Army of the Dead is, just a bunch of fucking mercs going in and just doing it for the money. Like, makes sense, right? Like, it's all about that cash.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Well, you gonna pay me or?
I mean, Yeah, you got credits? Credits or nah? You got no credits? All right, bet. I gotta go. Yeah, I'll watch the trailer, yo. But I'm not sure I can go back on what I said. Like, I really don't think I can. I don't think so.
Nigga, if the rebel flag has any type of resemblance to that,
the Gaston flag,
to that yellow like coiled snake flag,
yeah, that's the Gaston flag.
I'm not watching it. It's
the Gaston
that's
flag.
My lie.
It's a space snake.
That's the amount of subtlety that it's gonna have. Like, nah, yo. If it's like a sandworm instead of a snake, if it's
look,
if it says like take your boots off our necks or whatever, like I'm not watching.
Yo. Because look, Star Wars is, I know some nerds don't realize this, but Star Wars is deeply political, right? Like it is. It's about poor people rising up against a massive, empire, right? It's deeply political. But for him to do a Star Wars type movie, he will have to inject his politics into it. It'll have to be there. It'll have to be. You cannot make a movie like this and not have it. Like, you can't make a Kurosawa film without having some level of politics in it. It just does. That's just the nature of the filmmaking. So,
I mean, it's about an oppressive, a tyrannical regiment. Like, it's about an oppressive regime. Like, it's
the only tyrannical regimes that we know in real life are governments.
Right.
Like, that's the prime example. So it's going to have to be deeply political. So I'm very, very interested in how, like, I can't wait to see this.
And this is how Zack Snyder knows. I won't say he's smart. I'll say he knows how to play this game. He's going to make the main character a woman, young woman.
Yep.
Won't be surprised if she's a woman of color.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. To try and, because he knows like he's not like a racist or a bigot or anything like that.
No, he's
right?
not.
He's not. But he knows exactly what to do to get people who aren't thinking on his side. Like, he knows what to say and how to say it. Like, I've seen how libertarians communicate on like YouTube and stuff.
I'm sorry.
And the way they try to lay out information, it's not unlike the people who are like extremely right leaning, but they're reasonable enough where they'll show you some like hyper right or hyper left shit to make them seem like they're coming in the middle and they're normal and they just want to be left alone. But like, they still want to live in a society.
Yeah, you don't get to be left alone in a society. That's not how society is.
Right. Like, that's not how it works, yo. Like, you don't get to complain about taxes and then drive on roads.
Yeah, so stay your ass in the house. Don't ever go out. It's not fair. Well, that's what happens when you pay to be in a society. Yeah, so maybe he'll make the Obi-Wan Kenobi hermit character. He'll be the really awesome one, right? Everyone's like, man, we should all be like you. Stay to ourselves. That's all I want. That's what everyone wants here on Rebel Moon. This movie's gonna be fucking terrible.
Come on, yo.
I can't wait for the trailer for this. I can't wait to point out all of the fucking ham-fisted and Randian bullshit that's in this movie. I don't know if I can watch it. I truly don't think I can.
Oh, I'm willing to bite this bullet for you. I'm super curious.
I am willing to throw the grenade down and push you onto it. That's fine. It's fine.
I'm always fascinated with people who don't want to help people.
Yo, like, how did you let this nigga direct Superman? Like, that's crazy. And I didn't hate Man of Steel. I like Man of Steel, but like, should I let him die? I don't know, maybe. Like, yo, that's not something he's supposed to say. That Pa Kent does not tell his son to let him just die. What the fuck? Like,
yo, Pa Kent does not tell his son to let him die.
Like, no,
son,
no.
What I told you, helping people will only keep them weak.
Exactly.
Like me, apparently. So no.
But when I get grabbed up in the hurricane, like when nobody's looking, you come and fly around the back. Help me out.
I made this mistake, and didn't he get caught up in that hurricane by like trying to assist someone?
Yeah, no, they fucked up. They tried to help people, and then they died. See?
Right. See, that's what happens when you help. See, son, this is what happens when you help people.
Right?
You die in a hurricane.
Yeah, or a tornado. Yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah, I mean I guess it's like the Simpsons thing, like trying. What was it? Like the lesson here is never try.
Never try.
That's what it is. That's Zack Snyder's fucking Superman.
Superman all up in with fucking Jesus imagery and shit. Imagine. Look, I know you don't believe in all that shit.
Yeah, you can't make a libertarian Jesus. That doesn't make sense.
That don't make sense.
Like it doesn't. Again, like it might have that's where when people are like they're concerned about Coates writing Superman, that's where I'm not concerned about Coates writing Superman, because Coates' life experience is gonna be having to be magnanimous in the face of people who hate you.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's actually a perspective on Superman that is incredibly important. And as a black person in society, you have to learn that. You have to learn, in order to play the game, sometimes you have to even be magnanimous. Not even just like nice and okay to people, but sometimes you have to be magnanimous to survive and help people who hate your fucking guts. You do. Zack Snyder is not the guy who understands that. So interestingly enough, movie and TV news this week. Shonda Rhimes, unlike dude from Blackish, knows what side of the bread the butter is on. She has extended her deal with Netflix, and she adds features to her contract, including gaming, potential gaming and virtual reality content. Do you want a Bridgerton VR game, Micah? See that reggaeton? That guy's abs in 3D?
No, I think I'm good.
Oh,
I think I'm.
You think you're better than that?
I'm happy for her to. What does a Shonda Rhimes game look like? I have to imagine it'll be like an old school, well, not an old school, but like an adventure game a la Telltale with multiple stories and shit like that.
I can see them doing a Scandal Telltale game.
Yeah.
I can see that. Or Bridgerton.
Press X to earn me.
That's one of the most insane fucking speeches of all time, yo. You want me? Earn me. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I used to love that show. I did.
Yeah,
it got super crazy, and then I was like, I'm out. Like, she's a spy now. Like, all right, yo. She was just like the president's side piece. Like, she was the most famous side piece of all time. Like, she's the head of the B613 or whatever the fuck. All right.
Like, come on, yo. She's an adulterer, yo. Like
she was just fucking the president.
If she was doing that to your man, you'd be ready to fight her ass.
Yeah, like they were like, nah, this is a great show. I was like, this show is about a side piece. Like, come on, man. She ain't do nothing but eat popcorn and drink wine. She was an alcoholic.
She was my wife. Huh?
Your wife is not an alcoholic. Shut up. But your wife eats more than popcorn because she's a normal person.
Yeah, she's more than popcorn. Although when I went downstairs, she was literally eating popcorn and I think drinking wine while watching a television show.
It was definitely Bridgerton. It was 100% Bridgerton. So yeah, Shonda Land. She's definitely making more money. Rhimes moved into feature films. She will be moving into feature films, but it's not a huge surprise. Obviously, she's done it before. So look for that on Netflix. So yeah, I mean, look, this was a great pickup for them. Look, this woman knows how to write grocery store Fabio styled novels as TV shows. Look, and that's not shitting on her. Like, those shows draw you in a way that is like actually kind of remarkable, because you know it's trash. You know it's trash as you're watching. You're like, this is fucking garbage. But there's something about her writing that just pulls you in with those characters. Like she's got a style. And like, look, those novels that sell at the grocery store or whatever with Fabio on the cover, they sell, right? Like they might be trash novels, but people read them.
Yeah, so, like the character with Shonda Rhimes, her characters are interesting or interesting enough, and they are put in situations that are interesting or interesting enough,
right,
to get you hooked. And that's all you really need, right? Like you don't need the story to be amazing. It would be wonderful if the story is amazing, but and a lot of it is like who did it or who done it or some job mystery,
right?
And that's all you really need. And then just to try and be one step ahead of people.
Yeah.
When writing it. So look, her stuff is not, not to my taste, but look, I'm not going to deny her success, man. Like,
no,
get it.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at her at all for it. I think she's doing great. So, yeah, look, though, I mean, there is something about the way she writes. And I don't know what the element is, but it's those characters are just, like you said, they're just compelling enough that you're like, wow, fuck, what are they doing? Because Scandal is madness. Like that show is madness. But when it was just going through the like every week kind of monster of the week, so to speak, stories where you're trying to figure out, who done it kind of things. Yeah, it was like I was super drawn in. I was like, okay, like it had my interest. And then it got too crazy. Like it just got too fucking nuts. Speaking of too fucking nuts, Steven Dorff has something to say about someone's acting. Apparently, a guy who's only famous for being Deacon Frost, in the first Blade movie, had the audacity to say, quote, "I still hunt out good shit because I don't want to be in Black Widow. Black Widow looks like garbage to me. It looks like a bad video game. I'm embarrassed for those people. I'm embarrassed for Scarlett. I'm sure she got paid $5-7 million bucks, but I'm embarrassed for her." By the way, I bet she got paid a hell of a lot more than 5 or 7.
Yeah, I think she got paid more than than I'm thinking she's like she's at least 10, 11, 12.
I think she's
20 million.
She was the number one paid woman in Hollywood at one point. I think she is earning something like that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, maybe not for this, just because of like the timing of it and all, but I mean, who knows? I don't know. He says, "I don't want to be in those movies. I really don't. I find that kid director that's going to be the next. I'll find that kid director who's going to be the next Stanley Kubrick, and I'll act for him instead." I mean, somebody was like, Steven Dorff hasn't been actually in a good movie since Blade, so he can keep that opinion to himself.
Makes around 10 to 20 million per movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, not making a ton of money is not indicative of whether the movie is good or whether it's good quality movie for an actor. But at the same time, like, why are you shitting on her, dude? Like, why are you attacking her specifically? Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, why did you bring her name up? Like, why are you sorry for her? And why are you like? That's weird. That's very odd. That and maybe it's because he's got Black Widow on the brain because the movie's getting ready to come out or whatever. But look, here's the thing. This is you need these big blockbuster tentpole movies for a number of reasons. One, they bring in enough money for studios to be able to fund movies that Steven Dorff can be in, right? Movies that like may or may not be seen. Quality be damned. They may or may not be seen. And two, he says he feels sorry for her. Nah, bro, because if by her raising her profile, she is able to do any type of movie she wants, like Under the Skin, right? I
Yes.
wouldn't have seen that movie if Scarlett Johansson wasn't in it.
Nope.
And the only reason and like that's literally the only reason I saw that movie.
It's a great movie.
I enjoyed that movie for what it was,
Yeah.
but it was nowhere on my radar.
Nope.
And if Scarlett Johansson wasn't, Black Widow, I wouldn't have known about that movie. Like Scarlett Johansson is a movie star, right? Like
she's a big time movie star, dude.
She's a movie star. Like all movie stars are actors, but not all actors are movie stars. You know what I mean? Like
right.
You put her name on something,
people go see it.
People will see it. You put Steven Dorff's name on something, I mean, Steven Dorff might not even see it because he shot it. So he,
why he needs to be there?
He already know what's going to happen.
I mean, what's fucked up is like, you're talking shit on an actress who was in, like, take the Marvel stuff out of it. She was the voice in Her, which was an amazing film. And she was great in it. She was in A Marriage Story. The fuck are you talking about?
Right, nigga.
Like, yo, that wasn't 15 years ago, yo. Right, yo, I feel sorry for her. I don't. I feel sorry for Steven Dorff. You getting old, dog, and no one's calling you. Like, you were in the latest season of True Detective, but let's get real. That was somebody giving you a handout because you were lucky to be standing next to an actor of like super quality. So, incidentally, who's going to be the next Blade, right? So, like, I mean, it's incredibly ironic to me, but like, so you're standing next to him. So what? You feel sorry for him too? The thing is, I don't understand being a fan of movies or being an actor and saying, like, looking down on another actor for doing like a big blockbuster role, especially if they're an actor that does everything. Right? Like, if Steven Dorff is like, well, I look down on The Rock because he does nothing but fluff bullshit. Like, I don't think that's cool either. Right? Like, as another actor, because, like, he's working. So, like, he's making money. Like, he's also, like you said, he's making movies that provide money for your industry. Right? Like, so it's kind of a thing. But, like, you could at least make the argument, like, he only does fluff stuff. She doesn't only do fluff stuff. I think, like, and I hate to bring it to this point, I think this dude who thought he was supposed to be a hot shit actor at one point, because if his career had taken off after Blade, he very well might have, because he was actually pretty good in that. Like, I'm not going to pretend he wasn't. I think he's jealous because this woman is fucking crushing it. And
that has to play into it, right? Because he
you ain't naming Chris Evans. You ain't naming Chris Hemsworth. You're not naming any of these guys. Chris Hemsworth does nothing but bullshit movies. He doesn't do anything serious. Not really. He did Rush. That was the only serious movie I've ever seen Chris Hemsworth in. He hasn't done anything else. Yeah. But, like, you're seriously looking at the MCU as, like, you're taking actors in the MCU and calling it bullshit? Really? Chadwick Boseman was bullshit? He was a bullshit actor? Robert Downey Jr. is a bullshit actor?
You feel embarrassed for Robert Downey Jr.?
Nigga, he made $50 million on the back end. He's fine.
And I mean, like, it's not even the money, right? Like,
but, like, they're super popular actors who have done great work.
And not even just like the MCU, yo. Like you shitting on, like, Ben Affleck's a good actor, man. He is. He gets put in bad. He gets the short end of the stick in a lot of movies, but he's a good actor, man.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed his Batman briefly
until they put him in the second movie. It was like,
yeah, man. But, like, I don't know.
But he's been in other great things.
Exactly. So I don't. Argo's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just funny.
Whitest Mexican I've ever seen.
It's funny hearing actors just kind of badmouth their own industry. One, it always feels like it's sour grapes because it's always from an actor who is, and like, I'm not an actor, right? I would love to be in a shitty Steven Dorff movie, right?
Maybe you're the next kid who's going to be the next Stanley Kubrick.
But I don't know. It just feels like you know, it feels weird, man. Feels really odd. What is let's take a look at Steven Dorff.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not good. I looked it up earlier. I'm like, this is like I'm gonna paraphrase Chris Rock's joke. Like, you don't call like double dribble on a retarded kid, right? Like you don't. Like, there's no point. There's no point. It's not right. Like, he hasn't been in anything, like nothing of substance.
He's gonna be in a documentary.
Yeah, about 90s kids. I saw that. What's the last movie? What's the latest movie he's going to be in? Like a real ass movie, narrative film
called Embattled, which is a sports movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was the budget for that? Look it up.
Stars, and he's playing a mixed martial artist. Okay.
You're way too old to be doing mixed martial arts. You get your head knocked off.
Oh, it already came out. It made $32,000.
Yeah, no, I know it did because I looked it up. That's why I asked you to read it. Please. Come on, man.
$1,000. Wow. I had never heard of this movie.
Yeah, no one did. I'm just saying, man, like, that guy's career fell off the fucking deep end after Blade. Remember he was in Alone in the Dark? Isn't that based on a video game? A Uwe Boll movie? Come on, man. Uwe Boll, was he the next Stanley Kubrick you were waiting on? Like, don't do that. Like, don't be an asshole. So, yeah, I'm not cool with him shitting on her. Like, that just feels fucked up and it feels unnecessary. Again, yeah. you are okay to not want to be in those movies, but just say the movies in general. But like, to me, if I'm an actor, like those movies, like, to me, I'd shut the fuck up. Because you might get a spot in the new Blade movie as a character who's not Deacon Frost. Like, you could have probably done that. But now, you think the Marvel's going to hire you? No way. You talk shit on one of their OGs? No way. Oh, yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, we had this spot for Steven Dorff. Go fuck yourself. Just rip that shit up. Give it to that kid who's going to be the next Stanley Kubrick. He can play him. Who cares? Yeah, that's just an asshole move. Fuck him. Next up, Amazon Prime Video and IMDb TV, they in-game movie deal, which is interesting. It's a licensing deal with Universal. Under the pack, Prime Video will have an exclusive pay one window for Universal's slate of live-action films in the U.S., starting with the studio's 2022 theatrical release slate. This marks Prime Video's first exclusive U.S. pay rights deal with a major movie studio. The streamer had an exclusive pay window packed with smaller studios such as A24 and as well as non-exclusive arrangements with Paramount and MGM. So, look, if you are a fan of NBC Universal things like the Fast and Furious, look for those things to be coming to Amazon Prime a hell of a lot faster. So,
all right.
I mean, look, Quiet as Kept. That's how I watch a lot of A24 films that I don't see in theaters. I watch them on Prime because I know they show up there like rather quickly. So, yeah. And if you want to watch some A24 films, that's where you can watch them. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That's good. It, gives people more options.
Sure.
This is an interesting article. You brought this to my attention. I hadn't seen this. Kevin Feige says Marvel is done with massive multi-movie deals. Mentioning that Sam Jackson once signed a 9-movie deal for the studio. I mean, that's fine. He didn't have a lot of action sequences, so it's not that hard for him. And my guess is he probably re-upped because Sam Jackson, like, it sucks that he's getting so much older because he could do this for a while. Had they caught him like, I don't know, 20 years ago, I guess. Because since it's already been over 10. He basically went on and says, during a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Feige explained that Marvel is moving away from the massive multi-movie deals it once offered to its stars. Instead, he hinted that the talent will stay on board and return for additional projects if they're enthusiastic about the universe they've become a part of, without needing an expansive contract. It varies project to project, cast to cast, Feige explained, reflecting on the sweeping talent deals previously inked by the likes of Chris Evans and Samuel L. Jackson. quote, really what we want are people that come in, are excited to be in the universe, are excited at the opportunity to do more things, as opposed to being locked into contractual obligations. So, look, this is interesting. I can't help but think who in the MCU feels contractually obligated and is just, spinning their wheels. But we don't know that, right? Like, they may just be from a financial aspect doing this. But you do have to wonder if you're like re-upping contracts or you're extending contracts or what have you, from project to project, the money would have to go up every time. So you'd have to wonder why they would put themselves in that sort of position.
Yeah, especially if, well, maybe it was a special case with Chadwick Boseman and them not wanting to recast T'Challa because of, his untimely death, because they've recast before. But this doesn't seem like it makes sense from a financial standpoint. But at the same time, maybe some actors are like, this is a big fucking commitment, man. Like, I got to look like this for a decade, right? Like, I got to make sure that I'm in top physical condition. I can't eat what I want to eat.
Right.
I have to, like, I imagine it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And if you're not like a gym rat, like The Rock, who's The Rock's in really good shape, but like that's what he does, right?
Right.
Like,
I love when he's like, I'm getting ready for Black Adam. You're already ready for Black Adam. Like,
you're already ready for Black Adam.
It just slimmed down.
Nude scenes in Black Adam? Because, like, what's the point of having all those fucking leg muscles? You're going to be wearing pants, nigga. Right. But I get it, right? Like, Chris Evans having to kind of be in some sort of relative shape all the time.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth having to be in shape all the time. Now, I imagine Chris Hemsworth kind of likes being in shape all the time.
Yeah, he does. It seems like.
But and with your obligations to other projects that you might want to do, right? Like, Chris Evans has been wanting to direct for a while, but he's been locked in as Captain America for a very long time, and that takes a toll on you. So I wonder how much feedback they've gotten from the actors over these past 10 plus years,
right,
to help make this decision.
Yeah, I think you're right. It would be, it can't be easy signing a contract. I mean, that was one of Evans's like big things. Like, he's done interviews about it, like, yeah, we need you for like, 6 movies or whatever. He's like, 6 movies? That's a lot. Like,
it's a lot, man.
That's a lot of movies. And you don't know if you're going to like, all right, I like the first role. Like, that was cool. Then you change directors. Like, oh shit. Like, what if you hate the new director? Like, or you hate the direction of the character and you weren't expecting this to go that way. And then all of a sudden, like, diet and all that aside, right? Just from an artist perspective, like, you hate the way this character is written or, portrayed or has a message that you don't personally care for, right? Like, what if you have to play Superman and like help people? Like, that sounds horrible, right? Like, nobody wants that. So, like, it's it might be a little scary to get locked in for that long, right?
And you know what this could do also, though? This could let people who really like being in these things but don't want it to be their entire life, they can go off, they can have time to decompress, to do what they want. And then, they can come in at like number 27 in the Royal Rumble out of nowhere and come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get that, like, that adrenaline rush. You know what I'm saying?
That's a very good point. I hadn't thought about that. Like, I was thinking about it from a perspective of, you get more turnover in the MCU, so you might be able to like new characters
all the time,
like, right? All the time, because it's like, I'm only in this movie, like, I'm only in this universe for 2 movies. I'm out, right? Or 1 movie. But yeah, like, it might be a little column A, a little column B, right? Like, that would be kind of dope, where you could say like, I don't know, like Fantastic Four get 1 or 2 movies, you know, and then they're like, we're going off to different worlds, and they're just gone for like a phase, right? And you like, there's no talk of them, and you're like, are they coming back? And then like, boom, here they come. And then it's just like, they've had these years to do these other movies. They've had time to like relax, like you said, decompress, eat a hamburger or 2, right? Do what they want to do and then come back, right? And then because that's how the comics feel, right? It's not, you're not always hard focused on like the big books, right? You're not always hard focused on these 1 or 2 characters all the time. Sometimes those characters come out, they get replaced, and they come back, and then they replace somebody, they come back, you know, like it's an ever shifting roster. So especially like with the Avengers, like the Avengers roster shifts all the time. So it would be kind of interesting to have something where people, you know, feel that, you know, have the freedom to do that. Now, what that does do is that makes writing harder, right? Like, because you can't just write these, so you can't write stories so linear. Like you have to make them a little bit more malleable. But, you know, that would just be a testament to how they work on that.
I mean, but if you really look at the 23 or so odd movies in the MCU, the ones that are direct sequels of each other kind of have a through line, but the other ones don't. Like, they're not, like, not everything, like, yeah, there's a sacred timeline or whatever, but a lot of those movies you can watch stand alone.
Yeah, on their own, absolutely.
And you can get what you need from them. It's not until it gets like way later in the phase 3 where everything starts like meshing with one another.
Right.
But like, that's the trick that Marvel has pulled, right? They do this standalone movie, and then at the mid-credit or end credit, they connect it to something else.
Right.
And they make you think, oh, well, like there are people out there who still think that this thing was planned from
start to finish,
2008 or 2007.
No, they didn't know where they were going.
They didn't know what they were doing.
Right.
They didn't know that this was going to be as big as it is.
The only thing that I would say is remotely planned is at the end of Avengers. They're like, you know, you get the Thanos turn to the screen type of thing. They were like, we know we want to get to Thanos. That's all they knew.
They don't know how they're getting there.
No, they had no idea. And they like, it wasn't like the last Star Wars trilogy where they're like building the plane while flying. Like, they might have had things like kind of generally storyboarded out, but it wasn't like, oh, well, then this happens and this guy does a thing. No. They were able to do connective tissue in, you know, oh, we need to connect this to this, or add it into this movie. Like, then they would go back and kind of like make these other things important that weren't originally made to be that important, you know.
Right. Like they reference their own movies and
they retcon shit basically in real time.
Right. And they retcon it, right? Like, oh, that's like saying that the first Fast and Furious movie where Dom's father died in a NASCAR accident. They knew that they were going to get all the way to 9 so that you could see it. Like, nah, yo, like,
no,
they just watched the old movie and referenced it.
Right.
You know,
and they just figured out how to make it work.
Right. But look, I think this is very interesting. I like the idea of having multiple characters come and are able to show up without necessarily having a trilogy of those characters.
I agree.
You know, before they all team up or whatever, right? Like,
because you can't do that every 3 phases. like right. That's going to get boring and predictable.
Right. Now, the problem will come with, you know, the first movie in the franchise, right? Because they're going to feel like, I'm hoping they don't, but they're going to feel like phase 1, like, here's me in a situation that I have to get myself out of. Here's me manifesting my powers. Here's me learning how to use my powers. Right. Here's me putting those powers to use to fight a villain. right?
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta change that up. You gotta change it up, right? And I think maybe the smart money is you don't do those anymore, and you use Disney Plus to do that, right?
Yeah, if you get Miss Marvel out of the way, all that like first movie shit with a series, which is probably better because the series will be
way
more
better
than 2 hours long,
right?
So you can really flesh that character out. By the time that character's ready to be on the big screen, she's hitting the ground running,
right? And I think that's exactly the point, right? Like we're not waiting for you to discover who she is on the big screen. No, when she shows up in Marvels, shit is ready to go.
right?
Like so, and I think that's the best way to pull it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about a Marvel series in a minute. All right, let's jump down to what the fuck brought to you by JTD.
Probably should have looked at this sooner. Oh, Jesus Christ. Farmer's wife wakes up to a mouse chewing on her eyeball as a rodent plague destroys everything in its wake.
Australia?
Yes, this is exactly in Australia. Yeah. The woman was rushed to the hospital after waking up horrified last week as tens of millions of rampaging mice torment communities across the country.
No.
Yeah, I heard about this on the radio. Like every 20 or 30 years, like, you know, we have cicadas every 17 years. Every 20 or 30 years, they get like a really massive, like rodent infestation.
No.
And, yeah, yo, I have no desire to go to Australia. Like literally none. I love traveling, but
I want to go to Australia, but like, I don't need to go during that time. I don't need to go during that.
I don't need to now. I don't need to. I really don't. I've heard enough.
Every week,
spiders.
Every week you hear another story for you not to go there.
Yeah. I'm good. There have been calls for the mouse plague to be declared a natural disaster, so frustrated Aussies can claim insurance payouts after a house was torched, cars were destroyed, and crops were left decimated.
Wait, a house was torched?
They probably had to burn it. They had to burn the shit.
Nah,
so many fucking rats chewing through cables caused this house to catch fire in New South Wales.
Nah, no, nope.
Yo, and insurance companies are going to be like, that wasn't an act of God. That was an act of a mouse. Yep.
Sorry, that's on you. Okay, this story is horrendous.
Jesus Christ.
A man sustained an eye-watering injury to his genital area when he was nibbled by a 5-foot python hiding in his toilet. The 65-year-old man was basically, he felt a pinch on his genitals. When he stood up to inspect the bowl, he was stunned to see a huge albino python staring back at him.
Yeah, didn't his neighbor have the snake or something? I heard about this on the radio too.
Yeah, the snake reportedly belonged to a neighbor and had escaped before choosing the unsuspecting man's toilet as a nice spot for arrest.
Jesus Christ, man. I've not. Was it somewhere in the UK? I can't remember.
Austria.
Where was it?
Austria.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
I understand this man is 65. But you got to fight your neighbor. No, you got to fight that neighbor. You know? Like, that's it. Like, we got a box. Like, it can be even a fake boxing match with like Floyd Mayweather and that annoying white dude from YouTube. Like, no, but we got to fight. No, yo, like a snake is in my toilet. Y'all just sitting on the toilet without looking?
Well, he's probably sitting on there and then the snake creeped up. I would have to imagine, right? Because nobody backs into the toilet. I don't care what women say. You don't back into the toilet. So if the seat is up, just knock it down before you sit down.
No, they don't look at night. At night. They just go and they sit on the toilet.
Back that ass up on the toilet? Like,
sir, it's vax that ass up. I mean, come on. Like, don't be ridiculous.
Like, get out of here, man. So I would imagine that he's sitting there. He's about to have a poo. And the snake was just like, why is it dark all of a sudden? Let me check this out. The white woman of snakes, right? Well, why is it dark? Let's just go find out what the danger is. And then just go up and just, and then just bite your balls, right? This is a 65-year-old man. His balls probably hang low.
Yeah, they're probably
touching the water.
Right, exactly. Snake is like, oh shit, is it food?
Right. This is a mouse?
In the toilet? No, that's horrible, man. That's horrible. Oh, this poor guy. No, I'm gonna fight my neighbor though. Like, you have to. You have to. Like, I don't think you really have to die, yo. Oh no, I'm killing the snake. Man, that's a rat. That's a rat for the snake. Stab it. Your wife wake up, you just stabbing a knife into the toilet like a crazy person in the middle of the night. Something bit my balls. What are you even talking about? Go back to bed. Trailers this week. Secession season 3. I have not watched this because I have not finished season 1. Should I, Micah?
Are you watching season 1?
I need to go back and watch season 1.
All right, look. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Don't recommend anything to me because I'm not going to watch it until you watch Succession. I don't know how many times I got to tell you this shit was right up your alley.
I know it is.
And what's going to happen is that when you finally catch up, you're going to be like,
why didn't you tell me this was
the show Succession? It's really good. I just discovered it on my own.
Yeah, no one told me about it.
Myself.
Yeah, no one told me about this. You guys are assholes for not mentioning it. No, it looks really good. I like everyone involved. I really do. So
yeah, man, like this is. I showed this to my wife. My wife has been asking for this show for what feels like 5 years this season, because it's been a very long time.
All right.
You got to watch it.
All right. I hear you.
You coming over here this weekend? I might just put it on.
Like I've watched the first 2 episodes. The first 2 episodes are very slow.
The first 2 episodes of the first season.
Yeah, they're very slow. And look, I'm not mad at that. Like, that happens on shows, and then like shows pick up. So that's why I think I just didn't feel like super drawn in. Like, I liked the world, but I didn't feel super drawn in. So yeah. All right. I'm in. All right. And after I catch up, I don't hear shit. You better watch the fucking Nick. You have to watch
the Nick after you catch up on it.
Nigga, I gotta watch 3 seasons.
Yeah. How many seasons is the Nick?
2.
Well, guess what? There are 2 seasons of Succession.
Fine. Then you start the Nick this week. I will start Succession. No.
You finish the first season, and then I will start the Nick.
All right, that's fair. I will. How many episodes in the first season?
I can't remember. It's not. I guarantee you, it's less than the Nick.
I mean, the Nick is only 10.
I think this is probably 10.
I'm only asking for 10 hours of your life to be dedicated to a show. All right, fine. I will start watching it this week. Trailers this week. The next one up. What is it?
I'm going to quiz you too. I'm going to quiz your ass.
That's fine. I was like, yeah, I finished. What was it about? They try to secede him. Like, that's not what they try to be successful. Is that what is it? The next one is Queen Pins. This is starring Kristen Bell, Vince Vaughn. This is a true story about 2 women who started a coupon ring and were basically getting coupons and giving them out to poor people, or selling them.
Yeah.
And getting super paid. I kind of love the idea of this. This looks kind of funny to me.
Oh, I'm watching this. Yeah, this is very interesting to me. My mother is a coupon person now. She ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
So she'll get like $100 worth of stuff for like $5 or some ridiculous shit.
Oh my God.
This looks very funny.
Yeah, it does.
I like the people in it. It's from the people who brought you Hustlers, which I thought was a pretty decent movie.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, this looks and the story seems interesting. So
yeah,
I'm into it.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for it. Next up, Val. This is a documentary, sort of seemingly self-shot documentary, about Val Kilmer's life. Apparently, he recorded like a bunch of his backstage stuff while he was working on movies, growing up, and everything else. And like for people who don't know, like Val Kilmer's story is kind of sad because he has throat cancer. He's recovering from throat cancer, and the person you hear speaking isn't actually him.
Right, because his Val Kilmer is inaudible, essentially.
He sounds better now. Like at the time of this being filmed, like when you hear his voice at the end, it's way worse than I think it is now. But it was really bad. Like it was,
it's
really
so bad. I'm not going to like try to imitate it. Like normally I would try to. Like,
no, it's actually kind of a sad story.
No, it's not. It's not. It's so sad. I don't even know if I want to watch this.
I do because the guy's trying to like make a way for himself now. And I always liked Val Kilmer. I really did. Like, I mean, like it's kind of dope to see old footage of him. He was a fucking star, man. Like he was a real fucking star. Look, I don't care who you are. If you've never seen him as Doc Holliday in Tombstone, you're missing out, man. He was amazing in that movie. He really was. But to watch him go from that to what he's had to deal with now is really quite sad. I remember, when he did that Mark Twain thing, that was kind of funny. It was like a one-man play, I think he did. I think he's a real talent, and like it's just really sad that happened to him. But I'm kind of interested to see it. So,
oh God,
it's a bit gut wrenching, I think. So it's called Val. So check it out. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. So I think it's coming up here, July 23rd. So pretty soon. But I definitely would be inclined to watch it. Next up, this is the one everybody's talking about today. Trailer, finally a full trailer for What If, Marvel's animated series. Look, I think this looks great. I like the animation style. You are a big cartoon guy. As you know, I don't respect it as a storytelling medium.
Storytelling medium, no.
What are your thoughts on this?
I think the style is interesting. In certain sects of animation fandom, they frown upon this type of 3D computer generated animation, particularly like anime purists. Like they don't like the 3D anime. And this type of technology kind of uses some of that, just not without the anime style, right? Like they don't have Dorito or radish heads with big eyes and shit. But I don't mind it. I just want it to look good. And I think it looks pretty decent from an animation standpoint.
What do you think from a VO standpoint?
It's obvious they couldn't get some of the actors to
Yes.
to reprise some of their roles. I think the guy doing T'Challa is pretty good.
That's supposed to be Chadwick Boseman.
Is it?
Yes. Like this is his last role before he died.
This is his last role. Okay. Well, no wonder he sounds pretty good. The guy doing Tony Stark feels like the guy who does Tony Stark in the Marvel vs. Capcom games. And it's not bad. Like it gets the job done, but Peach. I love Peach. Yeah. Like it just, I don't know if I want to listen to a whole story of that.
Right. I'm hoping that's what we saw is just about all you get Iron Man, like,
Right.
or of Tony Stark.
He says like proton cannon, like, all right, that's fine, right? But a whole ass story about it, like with this voice, I don't know, but look, I love the one thing that DC does very well is they take their well-established characters and they have fun with them, and they turn them on their head, and they're from different Earths or whatever, and I really enjoy that, and I think it will be interesting to see with this, especially now that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is so like everybody knows it, right? Everybody, these characters are now household names. To see what they do, I think will be interesting. I don't know what Killmonger saving Tony Stark does.
Well, apparently he Killmonger becomes King Killmonger of Wakanda. That's the story. That's what I'm hearing. So
okay, but my only not gripe, but the one thing that I wish that this doesn't look like it's doing is different styles of animation.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I wish the different stories had different styles of animation to reflect the story that they're trying to tell.
Right.
So, but we'll see.
What do you think of Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher?
I think Jeffrey Wright should have been in the MCU proper, but because he's a phenomenal actor. But he sounds good. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I am excited for this though. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I think that what we're seeing is not disconnected from the live action universe. I think that this is going to be an offshoot of the multiverse, where you're actually going to see, like, it's just an animated version of seeing these crazy roles, like, because they can't afford to redo a Guardians of the Galaxy movie basically with Chadwick Boseman, or they can't do a new Captain America movie with Haley Atwell, right? Like, so this is their way of telling those stories, and I could see a situation. I don't know what's going to happen, but like, I could see a situation where they decided, hey, at the end of, when the timeline is broken free and it's all this multiverse shit, like, here's a way to tell some of those stories. Like, so I think this is very much not going to be its own standalone series so much as it's a way of telling those stories in a cheaper way, basically.
Now, do you think, all right, I hear what you're saying. Now, do you think all of these are different branches, or do you think all of these what ifs take place in the same universe, right?
I think they're all different, because one of them is the Marvel Zombies one, and I don't see how you do Marvel Zombies.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like, that has to be its own story, because, let me rephrase that. It doesn't have to be, but that story is its own story because the entire world is taken over by zombies, right? So, like, I don't see how you do that and then have these other, like, normal stories going on.
Yeah, and it looks like I'm at 32 seconds. It looks like Doctor Strange is falling through, I don't know, something. And I'm trying to see if I see Doctor Strange in more than one of these stories.
He is, because, he's directly talks to
the Captain Carter one.
Right. I was going to say he's directly talking to her. But then there's a moment where they are showing, like, no, actually, I don't know. So, I don't know. He's definitely in the Captain Carter one, but, like, who knows, what that means. I think that maybe Doctor Strange is in all of them. And that's
what I'm thinking, because they reference multiverse in the trailer.
Right.
And I think Doctor Strange I think this might be I think this might be like a direct prequel to the Multiverse of Madness, right? Like,
I think so too.
He sees some shit and is just like, yo, what the fuck? And then maybe we will get Jeffrey Wright as a Watcher.
Yeah.
The Watcher I don't know.
I think that'd be kind of dope. Like Jeffrey Wright doing the voice of the Watcher in the MCU altogether. That would be awesome. I'm okay with that. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Jeffrey Wright in the MCU in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness confirmed.
There you go. Yeah, put it up. Boom. Done. So yeah, look, I think this looks great. I like the animation style. I think what they've done with Captain Carter looks awesome. Like showing the fighting style and stuff like that. It just looks really quite good. So I'm here for it. And they don't show him, but the character in that Iron Man type suit that Captain Carter's riding on is Steve Rogers. Because they showed it like in a clip previously. Like he's still a little guy, but he basically gets that suit, and so he's like that. That's like her right hand man, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
I mean, I think they're still they're still a love interest, but like they're an actual formidable team.
Yeah, the Captain Carter one is the one I'm interested in the most.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just because it's what I like.
Yeah, I want to see her kicking ass. Like it's dope. But I really like the animation style. I think it's cool. I mean, I'm no expert by any means, but I like what I like, so I'm down for it. But I can understand why people are being more purist or whatever. But
I'm not even saying people are saying that about this. I'm saying I've seen that before.
Right? No, I hear you.
And yeah, I would that's my only issue is I would have loved to have seen different styles of animation. If these are in the multiverse, like everything shouldn't necessarily look exactly the same.
Right. Yeah, I'm fine with that. All right, so there you go. Yeah, that's it for us. Anything else before we get out of here?
No.
All right.
Not at all.
There you go. All right, we will see you guys next time.
See ya.
Oh, by the way, next week we will have our review for Black Widow.
Yep.
All right. Later, guys.
See ya.